Hey everyone, I'm so excited to walk you through the culturally responsive and sustaining education framework from New York State. So we're actually going to go through the document. You can check it out in detail later. We'll link to it in the notes, but I want to highlight a couple things for you and I am so excited. So let's get right to it.
There is so much richness in this document. This is the culturally responsive sustaining education framework from New York State. There's so much in here. I'm just going to give you a brief overview and then you can kind of explore the rest and we will link to it in the description below. So it tells you there are kind of multiple sections here. There's the guidelines, the mindsets, there's the summary. We're going to go through the summary really quickly. And then you'll see it's broken down by section into what does this look like when, for example, a student does it, a teacher does it, a school leader. So it gives all these stakeholder groups and it tells you exactly what this looks like for each person to be culturally responsive and sustaining in their educational practice. So the first thing I want to do is talk about, and there's all these beautiful graphics, the 4 principles of culturally responsive and sustaining education. So at a very high level, we have these 4 pieces: welcoming and affirming environment, high expectations and rigorous instruction, right? Because we need high expectations, high support, right? We can't reduce our expectations. Inclusive curriculum and assessment, which is my bread and butter. So I'll be talking a lot about that in the highlights of this video. And then of course, ongoing professional learning. So there are descriptions and also resources for each one of these. So definitely go ahead and check these out. The next thing I want to highlight for you is the student section. What I would do is use this, you can see my little note here, for rubric language. When we are defining what it looks like for a student to be successful in our classes or our courses, use some of this language. Right? What does it look like to be a student who is helping to create a welcoming and affirming environment for the whole class community? Go ahead and share what that is. Pull this language into your rubric, right? What does it mean to do each of these 4 components? So for example, we're asking questions about specific things, right? We are identifying bias. We are doing these things as students, and these are our expectations of students. Of course, it's going to look different K-12, but use that as a jumping off point for rubric language. Okay, teachers, what does this look like? So one thing I want to highlight here, again, I said I would highlight a lot for identifying inclusive curriculum and assessment and creating that. Here, I want to name engaging students in youth participatory action research is huge. This is where we enable students to take action and feel like they make a difference because they are truly capable of making a difference. They're often more innovative, creative, and problem solving than we are as adults because we are kind of streamlined into, well, this is the way it's always been done. Students are amazing at this piece if we give them the space to do it. So definitely consider how you might be able to do this. I love the idea of participatory action research because students are doing authentic research in community. They're practicing interview skills. They're working in collaboration with stakeholders across the community on whatever issue they choose. This is great for civics projects as we do a lot of that work here. But think about also partnering potentially with an organization or with a university who has youth participatory action research scholars and can come in. There's a lot of folks who are willing to come into schools and help K through 12 students do this work in the classroom. I next want to talk about school leaders really briefly. So again, thinking about that curriculum piece, help teachers audit their curriculum. And of course, we have a free audit on lindsaybethlyons.com right on the homepage. Feel free to DIY it yourself. We have kind of a self-paced thing, or you can book a call with me to help audit at a high level your district or school curriculum. But think about, what is going on here? What can we do better? And then of course, this is the big piece, right? How do we actually design and teach and implement curriculum that is culturally responsive and sustaining, that centers social justice and current events? How do we do that without shying away from it? And that's a huge conversation that you can have as a staff and as a leader that you should be facilitating. Engaging in ongoing professional support and professional learning. So look at the data and the research to figure out who's doing this well and how do we get other teachers to see what they're doing? Or how do we invite those teachers to success share and lead a PD? How do we do cross-curricular planning? How do we create the space in the schedule for teachers to actually plan out a unit with different departments to do interdisciplinary work? District leadership. Think about how we create courses that center historically marginalized history, language, literacies, texts, authors, right? We want to do a better job of this in the core courses, but then we also want to offer deep dive opportunities for students to learn about communities, people, histories, stories that have not been included. So what do we do from a curriculum planning standpoint that's like what courses we offer to make sure this is happening? And then also, how do we build capacity for our instructional leaders to coach teachers to be able to create those materials, create those courses, and implement them effectively? So that is pretty much it. There are other sections here, families and community members, but that's all I kind of wanted to highlight. Feel free to continue looking at, what other things you could do based on the stakeholder group you represent or are affiliated with. But this is a document that I would peruse much further. There's so much richness in here, whether you teach in New York State or not.
I can't wait to hear how you use this framework. Let me know in the comments. Send me a message. Tell me what this looks like in your practice today. And if you're not from New York State, tell me what else you want to see featured in this YouTube series. What other states, recently had a bunch of civics requirements and things like that. What else is out there that you want me to walk through for you? See you next week.
If you love this video, you're going to absolutely love my curriculum bootcamp. In just 2 days, we have a live experience that helps your department create feminist, anti-racist curricula that challenges, affirms, and inspires all students. We also have a self-paced course option for teachers or departments who want to go at this at their own pace. Check it out. I'll link to it in the notes below.